I
Yeah,
don't,
please keep him in state. I'll do whatever it takes to talk after my part.
that's worth it. Yeah, that's definitely worth it.
He's
a really good guy.
Nope.
Hey, he'd be really good. He'd be really good for him.
But it-
Okay, we want to welcome everyone to a South Weaver City Council meeting. Today is Tuesday, March the 14th, 2023, and at 6 p.m. We'll begin with the Pledge of Allegiance by Dave Larson, and then I'll offer a prayer.
Hey, everybody, please stand and repeat the pledge with me.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Our Heavenly Father, we're thankful for this opportunity we have to meet this evening in City Council. We're thankful for our community in which we live and the circumstances under which we live and those things that we enjoy in life. We're thankful for all those that serve in whatever capacity it may be to better our community and work here, and we appreciate them and pray that thou will bless each of them. We're asking this evening as we conduct this meeting and talk about the affairs of the city, that we might be guided, we might make the proper decision, and thy influence might be upon us. We're thankful, Heavenly Father, for the freedoms that we enjoy and for the country in which we live, and thankful for those that serve our country, and pray that thou will bless them in their endeavors. And this we pray for in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen. Okay, we'll begin with public comments. Anyone have any public comments? We'd ask you to step up to the microphone and state your name and your city.
Paul Sturm, South Weaver City. I'm just a general comment, and it has to do with the planning commission meeting that we had last Thursday. I hope everybody takes the opportunity to review the meeting and watch the video on it. There was a little bit of disturbing part of the presentation by the developer, and it appears that he was rather rude to the planning commission on several occasions. So just wanted to bring that up as a point. And please take the opportunity to read that, to listen to it.
Yeah.
And the second one has to do with, and it goes hand in hand with that and also with tonight's topic, and that is the fact that there seems to be a lot of zoning going on, and then the zoning is amended to fit the developer's needs. And that's just a habit that I've noticed in the last probably like 1 to 2 years. So that's my comments. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Paul. Any other comments? We would like to excuse this evening Councilman Halverson and Councilwoman Petty. They've asked to be excused, so we'll excuse them tonight. Our next item, action item, with consent agenda. We need approval for the February the 7th meetings, February 13th meeting, February checks, and January budget to actual. Any comments, concerns, or look for a motion to approve?
I make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
So moved. No, second. That's what I
All in
mean.
favor, say aye.
Aye.
Next item, ordinance 2023-02, repealing residential multifamily R7, adopting residential multifamily R5 and strategic growth overlay zones SG, and rezoning partial or part of parcel 13-034-0068, 13-020-0064, 13-020 13-0065, 13-018-0095, and 13-023-0209 from R7 to an R5 SG. Any comments, concerns, discussions on this? Council? Been working on this for quite some time. I think we're pretty well up to speed on everything we've got here, so.
So any changes or amendments from what we discussed last time?
No.
So if there are none, we'll ask for a motion on this.
Mayor, I will make a motion to approve ordinance 2023-02, repealing residential multifamily R7 zone, adopting residential, oh, are we doing that one too? Yeah, multifamily R5 and strategic growth overlay zone, and rezoning parts of parcels. Can I say aforementioned?
Yeah.
Okay, that.
Okay,
I'll second that.
have a motion and a second. We'll start with a roll call vote from Councilman Beal.
Aye.
Hi.
Aye.
Okay, motion carries. Thank you very much. Next
excited to
item
get that
on
one
our
through.
agenda.
I am too.
A lot of work went into that.
It really did. I'm just glad also that we no longer have an R7 zone in the city. We've reduced it down to now an R5, so
This is gonna be good.
Yeah.
It will be good for the city, yeah. Our next item, purchase of an ambulance. Cole, would you like to come up and give us a little info on that?
Sure, more than happy to. Thanks, Mayor, thanks, council. So today, we're gonna be talking about the purchase of an ambulance from Roy City. As you guys got in the packet, you saw the price that we're getting for the ambulance. We're asking $16,000 to purchase that ambulance. As we've talked in the past, you guys have all seen how much those ambulances cost, upwards of 250, 260, up over 300,000. So we're getting a pretty good deal with this one. And so, like I said, if you guys have any questions for me, I'm more than happy to answer those.
Have we driven it?
Yeah, so this was actually on the floor when we went over to look at it the other day. They were driving it and bringing it up to switch out their ambulances. They've been running it as a first out in the email that Chief Colden sent out to you guys, saying that it was a reserve ambulance. It was, and then it would go into frontline status when the first one was out. It drives great.
Drives great. No issues, nothing that you found on it or anything like that. It's a fantastic price, Lynn.
Yeah. Just a side note, one of our other members, another fire department within the county, just put one up for sale, a year older, 80,000 or more miles, starting bid at $50,000. So I want you guys to, I hope you understand that we're trying to find the best deals we can for the city.
So where does this funding for this come from?
This comes from the 197 that has been set aside for fire fleet.
And just, can you explain the relationship we have with Roy on getting this and any future equipment, just so
Yeah.
everybody understands?
Yeah, so Roy's been a fantastic partner with us, Chief Golden at Roy City. We approached them when we were starting our ambulance service after we bought our first ambulance, the one that we got for a really good deal from another agency. We asked him for a newer ambulance and kind of started working down those lines, built some good relationships with them, and they give us first right of refusal on their ambulances that they turn over, which is a huge benefit to us.
That's where we got our last one, right? Or the-
Yeah, correct. That's the one that we're running
Our
first
number
out. Yeah, the
first
one that
out.
we're running first out right now is the sister to this ambulance. It was a great ambulance and still is a good ambulance for us.
Just curious, how many miles does this one from Roy have on it?
It's about like 60, I don't have full email. I apologize. It is about 60,000 miles.
So is it equipped about the same? Does it have a power stroke diesel like the one?
It's the exact same, yeah, exact same ambulance.
Same.
Yeah, if you've been to our and seen ours, it's exactly the same
Okay.
ambulance.
Okay, good.
Yep. So the power stroke, what we'll do is take the power load gurney that you guys so graciously approved for us out of the old ambulance that we have, put it into this new one, so it's fully outfitted.
Great. Okay.
Yeah.
Any other questions?
No, I was surprised they were willing to trade this for a Quint, so it was.
That'll be next council meeting here.
Don't bring that up. Don't bring that up, Jeff.
Mayor, I move we approve the ambulance purchase from Roy City for $16,000.
I second that.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second, start with Quinn.
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you. We got us another ambulance.
I think the three of us, I mean, we're just knocking this event out.
That's it, cheesing.
It'll be an all-time quick meeting.
It is.
Okay, next, discussion items, our strategic plan review. In looking at that, we've come up with this review, I think last year, didn't we not? We just wanted to review it, see if there's any changes that any of us feel like we need to make to that strategic plan, or if you're good with the way it's being brought forth. I looked at it, saw what we've accomplished. I think we're doing a pretty good job. Any comments from any rest of you?
I felt the same way as you, Mayor. I looked it over and I just really appreciate staff and all the work and seeing everything going in action. It's fantastic. So
Yeah.
I applaud you all for your hard work.
I know there's a lot of things to do there, and we were probably over optimistic on hoping that some of them be done by the end of the year. Will we have an updated target, or do they be expected to be done within the next month, so we don't need to update? Because you have a targeted completion date on here,
Right.
and some of them, are past due. So
I think we learned as we went through it last year that some of these are more ongoing in nature than have a specific target date. So in those cases, we simply put the end of the year. But I think we probably should just put ongoing in
Right.
that target date and maybe update the format a little bit there so that it doesn't create confusion. Others are a one-time project that have a set deadline, and we want to continue to work toward those the best we can.
yeah, that was my only comment, to just make it so people don't say, oh, wow, got a whole bunch of things past due, but no, they're ongoing or.
Yeah. Yeah, we can make that change.
Other comments? Dave, have you got any comments on? that you
One-
wanted to make?
I guess I have one question, and that is, as you look at the individual projects, like we said, some are ongoing, some are one-time projects. If you ask yourself the question, just more of kind of a rhetorical or a thought-provoking question, in any of these categories, whether it be the community engagement or the smart growth and planning or any of these sections, if you ask yourself, if the city was able to accomplish one or two things in the next 3 to 5 years to really move the needle and improve that concept in the city, are there items that we should remove or items that we should add that would move the city forward underneath each of those target areas?
I think we've made a good start on safety, but I think that definitely needs to be hit harder.
Okay.
I think we've done real good. I think we've done real good. You can tell I'm Southern. I think the Davis County Sheriff's Department has been, real responsive in many of our requests. But I think the need is still out there, and I think it's actually still getting worse. And that's not a statement on them. It's just a statement on how bad things are getting out there with traffic and speed and riding on people's bumpers. And it's just, we're getting too many accidents in the city, and one of them is going to include a pedestrian real quick here, I'm sure. And once that happens, then I think we'll start taking it a little more serious.
Don't say that.
So I don't want it. And fortunately, it may be the only thing that gets this. So if we could work on that, that's one of the things that I see.
Okay.
Do we need a motion on this, Dave? to
No, not
continue this
necessarily. No. Can I ask one more specific question? On those projects that are complete and one-time projects, are you okay for us to just strike those from the future plan, pull those off?
I think.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think it'd be good to capture it in historical something or other, so we know what was done when we
Yeah.
go back to look and say, when did we do that?
Okay.
I guess another follow-up question to your question though is from your standpoint, do any of these need to be tweaked, or we overshot or underestimated, or are there any of them that we need to revisit?
To me, a number of these items, let me say it this way. I think that to Haley's benefit, because she loves this phrase, some of these items are at, 10,
Uh-oh,
15, 30,000 feet.
Ah.
And others are very, very minute. For example, the TV at the FAC, right? That's a very specific targeted type project. And I, from my perspective, would love over time to have this be more all at the same level, and have that all be more kind of a higher level document that creates the areas of emphasis, the strategic kind of initiatives, but doesn't necessarily have to dictate all of the day-to-day operational type items. And so over time, I think if that was the lens, we could make this a little bit more of a broader visionary type strategic plan than maybe it is right now. But as it is, I think allows us the opportunity to kind of operate in both levels and both spheres there. And so I don't know if there's any specific one that I feel like needs to be adjusted or changed overall. More of just let's clean it up and remove the ones that are complete. Maybe again, tweak the language a little bit to make it not so minute in some of the detail, but more broad in some of the principle. But that's my feeling.
No, thank you.
Any other discussion
Mm-mm.
on that? Okay, legislative review, Dave, do you have anything on that?
We did quite a comprehensive one last time. And so this is more of a quick one that says the legislative session ended. The Utah League of Cities and Towns will be putting together a summary document. Each year they go through all of the legislation that affects cities, and will put a summary document together and any action items that they feel cities need to take or evaluate their city code to reflect those changes. So we anticipate that document coming out. And once we do, Jamie and I in the past have sat down together and looked at that. And if there's any code related items or operational type items that need to change based on the legislative session, we'll bring that forward to the council and work through that process. So that's what we can anticipate or expect based on the legislative laws that were passed by the state this session.
Good, thanks, Dave. Okay, we'll go into our reports. Any new business? Anyone have to bring up? Okay, council and staff reports. Council, give us a report on your committee. Start with you down there. Yeah.
Really as we've been going through getting everything ready for the upcoming budget season, we've gone through a lot of the spending and the projected spending, some of the things that will be coming up. It's definitely going to be an interesting year as we see the economy changing and how that's going to impact the citizens and the city. So we're working on that. Also, we've just had a good meeting with the train club down there, and I think we've made some pretty good progress on it, some pretty good understanding of responsibilities, roles, and expectations. So I wouldn't be surprised to see that contract come before the council probably within the next month or so, if we can get it done. So
Can I hold you to that?
yes, you can.
All right. End of April.
April 11th, there's only
Yeah.
one city council meeting in April, and that's the 11th.
Oh,
That's the
okay.
target.
And
April 11th.
that's the date they're supposed to get it back to us,
All right.
Okay.
or before.
He owes me a pack of monsters from Sam's Club at the time.
Well, all right.
I usually don't pick sides, but we're gonna try to get it by April 11th.
So win-win for me, either way.
Haley,
PR met, I can't remember if I even did a report from when we did it, but we discussed, our concerts in the park, which will be happening this summer, May, June, July, and September. We're gonna get food trucks and, just other like games and things going on there, so that will be great. And then we have our Easter egg hunt coming up for youth city council, or not youth, well, I mean, the YCC is putting it on, but it's for the city. Do you have the date for me, Shay?
April 7th.
Thanks, Trevor. April 7th at 6 p.m. We're still trying to figure out inclement weather. We're a little worried about Canyon Meadows Park being flooded. So we're gonna, if we can manage to get this without rain or snow, well, hopefully we can get a park that's not flooded. So we're still working on that, but I think that's everything. Oh, public safety will be meeting next week. What?
I said, if not, we'll just do an egg dive.
Oh, that sounds like a good idea.
Bring your galoshes.
Yeah, yeah, that's a good idea. Okay, that's it.
When?
Just real quick, our admin finance committee, we met and discussed, priorities and the budgeting aspect there. Things are looking good. Talking just about moving forward with, the proper, excuse me, procedures and goals that we've talked about. So nothing new there. Just one quick update on the gravel pit and dust mitigation. University of Utah, their sensor technology is kind of being delayed. They've had some issues with it, and so they're trying to work those out. So we don't have any in our city yet. Once those get worked out, we hope to have a couple of sensors here. But due to the weather, we've had some relatively very good weeks for the last month. We'll have to see when it dries out, how it changes. But for now, it's been pretty low. That's all I have.
Just a couple of things. We had a tour down at the Catalyst School in Kaysville. Some of us were able to attend, and that is a fantastic school. I was very impressed with what's going on down there. And if I had a child that was in high school, I would have them down there in a minute. The program that they've got running down there is excellent. And speaking of concerts in the park, Haley, they have bands that come in down there.
Oh, nice.
And so if we're looking for some bands, I talked to Tyler Paul,
Uh-huh.
and I said, Haley will be getting a hold of you.
Uh-huh.
Well, Justin.
Justin?
I did say Justin because that's a
Yeah.
cousin.
Right.
So anyway,
I was wondering if I should contact Tyler now, but okay.
yeah,
right.
so they've got them that come in. They've got a production center down there.
Mhm.
I mean, it's state of the art, and really,
Really?
they had Alex Boyer come in there and do a
Really?
video and music video, and they showed part of it to us, and I mean, it's very professionally done. But they've got probably, what would you say, Quinn, 9 or 10 different areas of focus down there?
Yeah, and it gives the students real world experience
It does.
to any type of occupational.
So when they come in there, it's not like coming into a school. They treat it that when you come through that door, you're coming to work as an employee of whatever area you're going into, and they treat you that way. It's just really cool the way they've got that set up.
Really neat.
Yeah,
What's the
it's
name of it? Yeah.
Catalyst
Where is it at?
Davis,
It's in-
Davis Catalyst.
in Davis Catalyst. It's in Kaysville.
Over by Bonner's Park.
Oh, okay.
So they've got, but anyway, I was very impressed with it. And what else? Can you think of anything else?
Well, yeah, I think the other aspect that impressed me was, they welcome community, either cities or businesses to, sponsor projects with the students and, give them real world challenges, whether it's food. They have, an audio visual expert system. They have
They got a medical
Nursing
program,
and
nursing
program.
program. They've got a culinary.
Yeah, and they
Uh,
have the
They've got,
internet spy.
yeah, they've got the
what do they call
cyber.
it? Cyber.
They've got the cyber, and then they've got gaming.
Yeah.
That they do. And,
Several different areas, but you can pull it up on the internet and see all their different offerings.
but it's really cool. Drones, they've got a drone where they build
Right.
drones. Yeah. And Hill Air Force Base goes down and works with them. But they do, so they've got a lot of corporations and businesses that come in and work with them. And, and they help out the different businesses and whatnot. But they said, if you know anybody that has a business that needs a website built, they'll do it free of charge down there. So anyway, I thought it was really cool.
Very cool. So if we can think of anything from the city standpoint that we want, we can propose that for them. So,
And this was a real interesting point. We asked, or Tyler said that they have one student down there, and I think he's a senior this year. And one of the corporations or businesses they work with came to him and says, "Can we offer these kids a job?" And he says, "Of course, that's what what this is all about." And they offered a kid a job for starting when he graduates, $85,000 a year.
Very cool.
So
Very cool.
pretty cool.
That is.
Okay. Staff, what do you got?
Hey,
Yeah,
Where's show and tell?
oh, no show and tell from me. Uh,
Weren't they in charge of this?
I thought, yeah.
Shayla, you're in charge of that, right?
I saw Pie Day.
Yes, happy Pie Day.
Okay.
Shaylee brought the pie for when we're done. You can grab some on your way out. Next Tuesday, City Hall will be closed. Because that will be the kickoff day for the City Hall remodel project that we've been planning and budgeting for and working on. So that's the day that city staff, under the mayor's direction, will start to prep the building for that project. So there'll be demolition and removal of ground molding and whatnot in preparation for that. So there's quite a bit of coordination that's taking place amongst city staff as far as where people will sit to do their jobs over the next 60 days or so. We want to have as much continuity of service as we can. And at the same time, every part of this building is going to be touched. And so we're trying to figure out those details of how people are going to move and where they're going to move. But next Tuesday is when that starts to take place. So employees will be moving offices. Some will be losing their offices and sitting out in the open office area or different things, right? We're working through all of that.
There's so much room down in the basement.
There's a
So
lot of
much
room down in the basement. So we will be cleaning out some of the garbage that is down there and old boxes and things. It is a dungeon down there, yes, but there is some space. The last thing I wanted to say about that is, although the project kicks off then, there will be a period starting April 14th. We've talked about needing to have foot traffic closed down, and so City Hall will have to be phone calls only and things like that for a period of time, and that window will start April 14th. We don't know exactly how long that's going to take place. It's as fast as we can go. Again, continuity of service is the goal. We learned a lot through the COVID time about needing to have digital only interactions, and so we might have to rely on some of those skills for a short period of time here. But April 14th is the day that City Hall will shut down to foot traffic for a short period of time, and I don't know exactly how long that will be, but it will be at least a few weeks. One other thing, just for the council's information, Davis County Sheriff's Office approached us yesterday with some information, well, I guess the day before, with different option than what the Public Safety Committee has been discussing with them as far as our law enforcement contract. And so I sent that out. I sent some information out to the committee, Public Safety Committee, in an email. I'll send that to the full council. But we're meeting, one of the items in the Public Safety Committee next week will be to review what that concept really means to the city. They're essentially creating a concept of if we as South Weber and Fruit Heights were considered one coverage area together, we could have 24/7 coverage, 365, if we had 5 patrol units between us that could essentially be treated as its own department and unit and coverage area. And they would allow us to get to that point over a period of 5 years and kind of ramp that up. That's one more patrol unit than what we've talked about jointly, right? We've said we want to, they've said they want to. If we did 5 together, then we could create some service level improvements that we might want to consider. So that's what will go before the Public Safety Committee as a concept, and they've given us some rough numbers. But I wanted everybody to hear that that was put on the table, and we'll work through those details and talk through that. But
And you said that was Fruit Heights?
yes, Fruit Heights. So the major change with the paramedic service leaving the county and going to the individual fire departments throughout the county has made it so law enforcement is the only thing that DCSO will be focused on. And there's only 4 entities that they provide law enforcement for, of course, themselves as unincorporated county land, and then the 3 cities that they contract with, us, Fruit Heights, and West Point. And West Point's far enough away that if they could treat West Point as its own coverage area and have officers that remain over there, and if they could treat us and Fruit Heights as one coverage area and have officers that remain over here, it would reduce response times and whatnot. And so they're looking at operationally how to have a better level of service. And they presented that to us in the financial side of that as well. Again, it'd be more, right? It's one more patrol unit between the 2 cities, but they would allow us to ramp up over time and not just dump that on us immediately. So that's the concept, and we'll get into those details with the Public Safety Committee first before the full council. That's all my reports.
Okay, thank you, Dave. I think that concludes our meeting. So we'll, nothing else, we'll ask for a motion to adjourn.
Mayor, make a motion to adjourn.
I second that.
All in favor, say aye.
Ah.
Hey.
Okay. We are